Morning. It's 5:15 a.m. I woke up at around 3:30, could not get back to sleep, so I decided, screw it, I'm going to go jogging in Shinjuku. Because of course the hotel they put me in doesn't have a gym or anything like that, which is really annoying. I hate Shinjuku. Shinjuku has to be one of my least. It is by far my least favorite city in all of Japan. The only good thing about Shinjuku is that it is close to the Shinjuku train station. So getting from point A to point B anywhere in Japan is pretty easy. That is the only good thing about this place. So the best way to describe Shinjuku, it's the red light district of Japan, and I find Shinjuku absurdly depressing. And I'm a bit perturbed that the steel mill put me here. I suspect that the whole reason that the steel mill put me here was so that like the facilities managers and stuff, the higher up bosses, have an excuse to come in Shinjuku and then drag me around to different bars and stuff. And I don't drink. I haven't drank in pretty much a decade, over a decade at this point. And I'm not going to drink for these guys. So the senior people know this. And of course, the young people aren't comfortable being around. Like, one of the things about me is I'm pretty scarred up. My face is fucked up. I'm missing an ear. I'm missing fingers on the right side. Like the whole right side of my body screwed up. So my right arm's all screwed up. My right leg's all screwed up. So I kind of suspected that there wasn't a gym at this hotel. So I showed up with trainers, like full tracksuit stuff. Because in Asia, and this isn't just Japan. This is true for RK. This is true for Hong Kong, China, everywhere in Asia that I work, Thailand even. Well, Thailand not so much. But there's a huge stigma for anybody that's got a disability or a disfigurement. You are meant to be hidden. So there's already kind of, you kind of have to get used to being stared at when you're like as tall as I am and you're a foreigner. But the look of disgust that people will have if they notice my hand or if I'm not wearing a mask, it's very off-putting. In the States, I really only have to worry about like little kids staring at me. But in Japan and Korea and so on, like people will just stare, and they will have a very very negative look on their face because in Asia, you know, it's considered to be wrong to not conform. And again, this is more than just being a foreigner. Because even I've done jobs before where even my foreign or my my fellow coworkers that are also foreigners, they're like, yeah, man, it's like it's really off-putting how they're glaring you down. I was like, yeah, because I'm not supposed to be seen in public with a missing ear and stuff like that. So wake up 3:30 in the morning. My back is killing me. My hip is killing me. I haven't exercised at all. Uh, so that's one of the reasons why I'm feeling so damn stiff. Plus, I'm on a bed that I have to sleep where my feet are touching the floor because bed's not long enough. And even if the bed was long enough, my feet would go through the fucking wall, or would have to. Either my feet go through the wall or my head goes through the wall. So I got my feet bent down as I'm trying to sleep, and it's just I'm not in the best of moods between the jet lag, being away from my wife and my kid, and being in a party town. This is like if I was doing I've done work in Louisiana. And then putting me in this hotel in Shinjuku is like if I was doing a job in Louisiana where I was an hour and a half away from New Orleans. And the end user got me a hotel room on Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras. And I'm supposed to be here. And Mardi Gras, of course, is every night. So it's miserable. I'm not saying that the hotel room is loud or nothing because I'm on like the 20th floor, but like I cannot leave my hotel at all because as soon as I leave the hotel, I'm getting harassed by pimps. I'm getting harassed by like strung out prostitutes. Like the pimps are always, bro, where you from, bro? Where you from, bro? And it's like, leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Or it's strung out women who are amphetamine abusers that are like, hey, you English, sucky, sucky, happy ending. Like this is something straight out of like Full Metal Jacket kind of thing that's seen in Full Metal Jacket, where it's just like, leave me alone. Like just leave me alone. I'm trying to get from the train station to my hotel room. I just get, like I want to be left alone. Well, woke up super early this morning and I need to exercise, so I'm like, screw it. I'm not even gonna hide it. I'm not gonna wear the training pants. I'm not gonna wear like the training, coverall top. I'm just gonna wear shorts, a t-shirt, my running shoes. Everybody's gonna have to look at my fucking scars, to try to keep people away from me. Well, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. I tried jogging. As soon as you leave my hotel, all you smell is urine and vomit, and there are just strung out people just all over the place. Shinjuku at night looks worse than the worst parts of Seattle or Baltimore City. Like seriously, Baltimore, you don't have people at 4 o'clock in the morning drinking openly, and it's not just. I'm not talking about like there's a bar that's 24 hours and there's people in and outside of the bar drinking, kind of like a pub or something. I'm talking about like strung out fucking people sitting on cardboard, just getting hammered and yelling at each other in Japanese and other languages and shit. It's just, it's so fucking dystopian. Now, morning come times, I don't know how they do it but by 6 a.m., a whole army of street sweepers just come in and start cleaning everything. I don't know where these strung out homeless people go or anything like that. But until that morning, it's like a hellscape. So I'm trying to jog, and I have people literally coming up to me, like getting in my way as I'm trying to jog down the city blocks. It's like, and it doesn't matter where, like go away, go away, go away, go away. I can even say I'm deaf, like fuck off, I'm deaf. It doesn't matter if you're polite, it doesn't matter if you're fucking rude. Um, it's so goddamn pushy and shit. I hate Shinjuku. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I'm so fucking annoyed right now because I've been here for like 3 days. Um, I can't even go shopping and shit for gifts for my wife and kid because I can't walk 5 feet in this town without being harassed. I, I hate this city or this part of the city. The rest of Tokyo is great. The rest of Japan is great. I love going into Nagasaki. Nagasaki is, you walk around and it's bright lights like this and so on, but there's not strung out prostitutes and pushy foreign pimps every 2 feet yelling at you. They're trying to, hey, where are you staying? Where's your hotel? Da, 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 da. It's like, it, Shinjuku is the exact opposite of what people think when they go to Japan. It's just, I feel like I'm in the red light district of Thailand. And again, I'm in my mid 40s. I'm happily married. I got a kid. I have absolutely zero interest in risking getting an STD from a strung out meth head crack whore. Uh, it's just like, just leave me the flip alone. Leave me alone. And of course, since I'm in Shinjuku, I get done with the steel mill work. I get on a crowded train. I ride that for an hour and a half. I get back to my hotel. Um, I hate this bathroom. I literally have a bucket or like a little plastic chair I'm supposed to sit on, and I'm supposed to like shower from a faucet. I have to immediately shower, change it into normal clothes, get out of the steel toes and stuff, so I can meet up with a couple of these bigwigs And of course, then they want to go bar hopping all night long, and they want to eat stick food. I call it stick food. I forget the Japanese name for it, but it's like grilled meats on skewers that they have at these bars. And it'd be fine if it was like chicken thighs or like chicken strips or steak strips and all. But because these guys are getting absolutely shit faced, because in Japan they have the most unhealth, they have an unhealthy work home life like culture, and they also have an absolutely unhealthy drinking culture, where these guys are slamming beers and sake and shit like crazy. And of course they're trying to get, they want to get the foreigner drunk. They want to get the foreigner drunk, and I'm like, no, 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 no. And as they get drunk, they're ordering more and more food, and it's getting grosser and grosser and grosser because they know I'm not going to necessarily like it. I have a big tolerance for stuff, but like certain things like grilled chicken hearts. I fucking hate grilled chicken hearts, and it never fails. It never fails when I'm in Japan with these guys. As soon as they get into like the fifth or sixth beer, that's when they start ordering grilled chicken hearts. Because what they want to see is they want to see me squirm, and I'm not going to give them that satisfaction. They're like, great, really good, really. And the best way to describe grilled chicken hearts is imagine you're trying to eat a partially melted balloon because of the valves and stuff. It's nothing. It's nothing but hard cartilage and stuff, especially on a grill where it dries it out and stuff. It's fucking awful. And of course, they're getting slammed, and then they want to do karaoke or go to one of these. I don't know what you call them, but they're basically just like They're basically just brothels. And I'm like, nope, not doing that. I'm not doing that. And it's like, and what ends up happening is it starts changing from they call me Smith-san to they start calling me Oni-san, which Oni is the mythical term, or it's a term for the man-eating ogre or whatever in fucking Japanese mythology, and it's like, I can't just call them out for it because I would lose face and all. But it's also, it's like, it's really fucking irritating that these guys think that I'm so fucking ignorant about shit that I don't know what they're fucking calling me. I know, and it's just, it's irritating because on one hand, like these guys, their work home life sucks so goddamn badly. It's the same kind of fucked up mentality that I ran into in the military, where guys were like, "Hey, I work hard, I play hard." So like the guys would just, any free time they would just slam alcohol and do stupid shit, and then show up to the base hungover as fuck. It's kind of like the same thing for these guys, but they kind of do it like every other day. Every other day. So like this is like their only real break to have fun because they're probably not being stuck at the office well after they stop getting paid to do team building exercises because they have an excuse. Oh, I got to take the foreigner out. Of course, the foreigner doesn't want to go out. I don't give a fuck. Like I want to be left alone. I would prefer to be talking to my wife and son before my son goes off to school and my wife goes off to work. And then I want to spend the rest of the time just alone in my hotel room trying to naturalize my sleep and shit instead of having to be like, this is what sucks. I was up till 2 o'clock in the fucking morning with these guys, making sure they got back to the fucking train. So at one point, one of the guys was so goddamn drunk, in broken English, he was asking me what train line to take, and I'm like, I don't know where you live, and I don't care. Get through this goddamn turnstile. I don't want to see you. It's like I fucking hate it. And then I go back to my hotel room. Can't talk to my wife and kid because like 2 o'clock in the morning here is 2 p.m. They're not going to be available. Go to sleep, and here's me 1 second. I'm not answering that phone call. I go to sleep, and then it's like an hour and a half later. I'm wide awake because I still haven't naturalized my time. So I'm going to be absolutely goddamn exhausted pretty much when I'm on the morning train at 6:30. Get to the facility at 8. Be dead on my feet 8:30 after we have our morning brief, and I'll be working till like fucking 5. And then I have to start this whole stupid cycle again because I guarantee you, oh, Smithson, we go out tonight. and it's going to be a different group of guys. Oh fuck it! Like I have so many people I know that when they find out I work in like Japan from time to time, and I work for a Japanese company, like, oh, why don't you live in Japan? I would love to live in Japan. Japan's great. It's like you have no idea what the cost of housing is. You have no fucking idea. You have no idea how fucking isolating it is because even if you learn fluent Japanese, people will not talk to you in Japanese. Like in a business, I'm talking about like in a work kind of thing. Um, you got all these unwritten rules, all these annoying hierarchies and stuff. It's just really alienating, very frustrating, especially for an American. Where we're used to, you can talk to people. We're used to being able to like interact and not have to worry about these 10,000 unwritten social norms and stuff that no one will explain to you. And then on top of this, in the United States, people complain about the work-life culture in the United States, where it's like, oh my God, you work, you know, like 80 hours a week, you're treated like shit, and your company just lets you go. Well, what happens in Japan is you work 80 hours a week, and then on top of that, you're expected to do like 20 hours of free time where you're doing team building exercises in the middle of the night at where you work. And then they won't fire you when you piss them off. They'll just shun you. And what they do is they make your life so goddamn miserable, both inside the office and outside the office, that eventually you quit your job. But if you've ever quit a job in Japan, you're now considered to be untouchable, and so you'll never work again. So you're either going to end up starving or you throw yourself in front of a fucking train. Which, by the way, that happens twice a day in Japan. That someone commits suicide by just flinging themselves in front of a Japan or in front of a train. So like getting to and from the facility, I've been on there where like the train has been delayed for like 15 minutes, which is that's a lifetime in Japan. Trains are expected always on time. And you usually say something like customer issue. What that means is somebody flung themselves in front of a fucking train. They got to clean up the line, and then they go back to putting everything back into operation. It's happened twice since I've been here. They don't come out and say it was a suicide, but that's what that means. If you ever see like a line is delay, and they say something like customer issue, or some phrase like that, it's because somebody plugged themselves in front of the train. Probably because somebody was getting shunned. They finally quit their job, and now they realize that they'll never work again, and they're going to slowly starve to death. So I know I sound like a real fucking wet blanket. I got a screaming headache because I didn't sleep well at all. I've only got about an hour and a half of sleep on me, and I've got to be awake for a long period of time. And then again, I'm going to be dragged out later tonight with a bunch of men around my age, some a little younger, some a little older, and it's like taking out a bunch of frat guys while you're 40. And it's just like, I don't understand why you guys find this fun. I don't understand why you guys are drinking until you're like pissing yourselves. I hate Shinjuku. I fucking hate Shinjuku. I want to be clear. All of Japan is not like Shinjuku. This is like the relief valve of Tokyo. This is where like the people are allowed to do this shit. Anywhere else in Japan, this behavior and actions not tolerated at all. It would be a major, major crazy thing if people acted like this anywhere else. But it's like I just I don't like Shinjuku. Shinjuku is like a place that like a college student should go to where they get their drinks spiked and then they're like raped or whatever, or they end up getting arrested because they accidentally agreed to pay like 50,000 yen for a blowjob and they didn't even get the blowjob, and now the cops are arresting them for just this is the kind of place that this is, and I fucking hate places like this. I didn't like this kind of shit when I was in the military. I sure shit don't like it now that I'm old. And I feel bad too because when I go home to my wife and my kid, one, I got to figure out how I'm going to find like gifts and stuff for them. Because again, I can't do any kind of shopping or anything in Shinjuku because I'm being harassed nonstop. I'm about ready to punch somebody. And of course, when I get back, first of all, I'm not going to talk to my son about any of this shit. He's 12 years old. But like even my wife's gonna have like this high expectation. Oh, Japan must be so nice. It must be so clean. Such order culture. Yeah, the rest of Japan is like that. Because I don't want to tell her. Yeah, when I got back, or the entire time I was there, every 5 minutes I was getting harassed to pay for sex. Because that's not something you want to tell your wife, you know. And like, I mean, she knew about the. Her and my son knew about this trip, of course, ahead of time. So they were looking up all this stuff from Japan, stuff I should do, things I should see. But like, yeah, Shinjuku sucks. Like, it sucks. If you got an opportunity to go or stay anywhere in Japan, don't stay in Shinjuku. Like, if you're anything remotely, if you're like some kind of crazy horn dog that wants to just drink for like 4 days straight, like a Russian, to where you just wake up somewhere with like kidney and liver failure, then Shinjuku's great. You know, if but I flippin' hate Shinjuku. I really do. I really, really, really do. It's like I don't even leave. If it was for the fact that the steel mill management keep coming down here to quote unquote take me out, I would never leave my hotel. I would stop at a 7-Eleven because the 7-Elevens in Japan are great. Load up on stuff for the night and just not leave my fucking hotel room. Like, I'm just pissed off. My attempt at jogging was an absolute unmitigated failure. I went for about an hour, but it was constantly start stop because I would just have these people just they wouldn't get out of my way. And it didn't matter. I was jogging in the bike lanes. It doesn't matter. They'll just come up to you, and you can't actually get any kind of speed going because there's all these people strung out, like just laying on the sidewalk or they're sitting on concrete, and they're just drinking booze and shit, smoking cigarettes. It's just fucking awful. Shinjuku, Tokyo. It is hell on earth. It's the only place in Japan like it. It's just awful, awful. That's not true. I don't know. There could be some other places like this, but I can't imagine there's any red light district this big, this expansive, and God, I really wish they had not. They, I get so annoyed too because it's like I was on the train and I started I'm like, screw it. I want to see how many hotels I'm fucking passing between here and the goddamn or between the train station I got to get to for work and the train station that like the steel mill has a train station, and it's like I'm literally passing all these nice, quiet little areas that have hotels in it. It's like why couldn't I stay there? Because it doesn't matter that like maybe if I was over in those places nobody speaks English. I would rather I'd be in a place that nobody fucking speaks English and I'm not getting harassed by pimps and prostitutes nonstop. It's really unreal. It's really unreal. I cannot walk around my like the block that my hotel is on. I cannot walk around the block of my hotel without being asked if I want a blowjob at least a half a dozen times, and it gets so like the first time it happened, it's like, oh wow, that's a little weird, and then 5 feet later, it's just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm taking off the mask, I'm making you uncomfortable, and I've been just yelling Spanish obscenities at like any English speaker that comes up to me asking me if I want blowjob, sex, happy ending. And it's like, yo, bro, where are you from? It's like, fuck off, leave me alone. So that didn't work. So I've just now been just insulting people to their faces using Spanish. It's like I want to be home. I just want to be this. The job itself is not going bad at all, like the steel mill work. It's actually going fairly well. Um, I don't mind being in Japan for work. I, I'm very, very frustrated that they put me in a red light district for where I'm staying. And I know there are people out there like, you're crazy, man. I'd be having a blast. Like, well, yeah, it's like if I was, I don't know, if I was 19 years old, yeah. like this would be crazy, this would be fun, this would be like, oh my wow, well I, oh my wow, oh my gosh, I'm on heaven on earth. But it's like you get to a certain point where it's like, no, I don't want to go drinking every fucking night. I don't want to be in a steel mill trying to do work while I'm painfully hungover. I just want to do the job and go home, back to my family. And I'm not getting, it's just, sorry, I don't mean this to be a bitch fest. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. And I think I got to follow this up by getting into Quebec next, which working in Quebec is always interesting. Um, the Quebecois are strange people. They hate everyone. It seems like they're gonna be rude and treat me like shit. But at least it's gonna be I'm not gonna be asked by grown men if I want a blowjob. So I I would kind of prefer that right now than this. Again, I want to be adamantly clear. The rest of Japan is not like this. Like my favorite place in Japan is Nagasaki. I love Nagasaki because it's nice, it's quiet. Yeah, it's still built up, but like it's like a small town compared to Shinjuku, Tokyo. So anyway, I'm gonna let you all go. I guess I'm gonna take a shower and then sit in a chair until 6:30, and then get on a train and ride it for an hour and a half. God, I wish I was home.